Alright everyone, welcome back to Distant Star Cares Play Live 2018. We are here with TrUShade, going to be playing some Castlevania.
Hi.
And we are ready when you are ready to go.
Okay, just give me a couple seconds. Just initially, before anything, we are playing on Magician mode, which requires a special name. I'm gonna just turn down the music in my ears quickly. So yeah, we can start in 3, 2, 1, go. So, this is Castlevania Circle of the Moon. This was actually one of the first Game Boy Advance games I had, and it's actually one of the first Castlevania Game Boy Advance games. Oh boy, it's fun. You'll see eventually why it's fun, but it's more of a surprise. This is the first Castlevania game, I believe, to not have a Belmont in the game. So yeah. This is before the Soul System that the Dawn of Sorrow and Aria of Sorrow made effectively useful. So what do? We believe in the heart of the cards. Magician mode, we start off a lot weaker, but we start with all the cards. This makes going through the game super easy and super quick. The any percent run of this game is about a 5-minute run, and you might be wondering, oh, well, how is that possible? You'll see eventually. But since we're doing all bosses, we gotta go kill all the bosses. So, the most card combinations you'll see me do is this one, which is Pluto Griffin, which is basically double speed, and Pluto Unicorn, which is invincibility. I don't have double jump yet. In casual play, you'll start off as Vampire Hunter, or Vampire Killer, sorry. So you'll start off with 100 health, where in Magician mode you start off with 50. So the start of the game can be very dangerous, being very careful. I'm gonna play it a little safe, because the start of the game is very very reset heavy if you're trying to go for runs. At least for me. The music in this game is top quality. A lot of people who've played this game don't enjoy it because it was a lot harder of a game back in the day. Yeah, he's the first boss. He's dead. And we move on. For bosses, you'll be seeing me use Diana Griffin, because that does a set amount of damage and can hit bosses multiple times, which is super useful for the Magician. The only weird thing about this game is that magic, how much damage it does is based off of strength. Oh, not me. Dirt. Yeah, so you might be thinking to yourself, hey, isn't this the start of the area? Or start of the game? And you're right. How are we going to get up that giant pit? So, this game is slightly broken, where we just fly. And also we have to be a little careful here because we can actually soft lock, and that would be bad. I do have multiple saves for this game because of how easy bosses can kill and such, but beginning of the game I do not. So here's Dracula. He's a big mad meanie. Then we're going to introduce him to the Bone Zone. If we get close enough, we can those big bones deal basically what are supposed to be max damage of 9,999, but they're darkness base, and bosses also have a lot more defense. So we'll be only dealing, like it was here, 529. We needed 3 big bones, unless we got the double hit with the big bone. Anyways, we got like 46 seconds of level ups, so I can quickly talk about why we actually play on the Japanese. We play on Japanese because for some reason in the Japanese we actually gain another level compared to English, even though the amount of XP we get is the same. The EXP tables are different in each of the games. So, if I wanted to go to the end of the game, I just take that portal. And be, end of the run. Have like 30 minutes to just chill. But, since we're doing all bosses, can't. So now move on to... where are we going? We are going to the clock tower. If any of you have played this game casually before, and you're wondering, clock tower, but don't we need a certain item first? We do. We just use our powers of Warpy Warp to go everywhere now. Oh, whoops. Ah, wrong combo. Oh. Why am I bad? There we go. So this game, like most Vanias, would have... if you tried to go the other way, you couldn't because you need the shoulder bash to get through blocks. But coming the back way, the game assumes that they've made the stairs low enough that you can actually get up with just double jump. And you don't need wall kick, which you'll get from Iron Golem. Fox archers are jerks. So, anyways. Oops. Keep using the wrong weapons. So, here's Iron Golem. There goes Iron Golem. And now I scroll the screen as far right as possible so that I can actually get Hugh to walk less distance, and I have less distance to the door. So now we got kick boots. Now we can kick everywhere. Yay! Don't hit the fireball. That fire shade likes to make my day horrible. So yeah, that is basically all we need from this area. And we're just kind of done. If I do have time at the end, I will show like the map off, just to show you like how much we're actually skipping. and it's really funny. Also, there's a few things I can show off at the end if I have time. Just funny little quirks and such. So yeah, now we're on to who I think should be Death, but he's not. Spoiler, it's not Death, but... So we hit the... A lot of the times when we're hitting the saves, it's just to get health back and such. For the most part, magic isn't a big thing, because we have over 1,000 intelligence, which is every 10 intelligence brings back 1 mana per second, or MP per second. So, yeah. Oh. But yeah, a lot of this game is just remembering what card combo is and such. So, here's not Death. Oh. Almost went good, but got away. Now, we have the ability to tackle people. It says shoulder tackle, but it's more just like Nathan's like, it's the hardest thing on my body. Oh, my head. Let's just hit people with my head. So for casual players, this kind of looks a little bit normal because we're now, besides facing Dracula, we're at a normal, this is the correct boss order. Or should be. I have to focus it a little bit here because I don't have much health, so I don't want to get hit much, and getting hit by that archdemon is actually really bad. Okay, we're good. So now, for one of the newer tricks in the game, if I don't get in like a... Okay, there we go. So this is called Bone Float. I could not tell you how it really works. The idea behind it though is the skeleton can be like a frame more slid off the edge than Nathan. So it just works that he's allowed to, the game still thinks you're like on the floor. So when you jump, you start kind of climbing up invisible stairs. So this is Camilla. I believe in English it is Camilla as well, but I always, even when I was younger, I was like, oh, it's Carmilla. Because it makes sense. She is one of the more dangerous bosses because she has so much health and just there's no real quick way to kill her. But again, we use the Griffin attack so we can basically double hit her for a good static amount of damage. Okay, we're good. It's always a little scary coming out of that boss with little health, because all the enemies here can basically one-shot you if you're that low of health. I think you're at about like 14 to 20 health if you get hit once during the battle. And all the enemies do between 60 to 100 damage. Except the hands, but the hands are jerks. And climbing towers is just boring. Also, a minor thing, I actually got what's called the double warp, where I warped basically 2 screens. It only works in the chapel tower because of the loading zone, how the loading zones are layered. So the big danger about, at least in the early parts of the run, with going out of bounds, is if you fail, there's no, like, if you fall off the edge, there's no way you can get back. But after you get rock swing, at least if you fall, you can bring yourself back up. But if you're out of bounds and you get hit, then you basically fall for eternity, basically, until the game decides, oh, I decided to wrap around. Also, that was another boss. Sorry, the bosses are going too quickly. There's... how many more bosses are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 more bosses. But yeah, Hugh's mad because we're his dad's favorite. And he wants to save his daddy all by himself. While climbing this tower, the reason I avoided those marionettes at the end is because I didn't want to be cursed going into the boss's room, because it wastes time. Also, then the game just starts, in casual play, they start throwing these thunder armors, which are basically quote-unquote late game enemies at you, and it's kind of annoying, but as a speedrunner you actually have to be really careful because they also do a buttload of damage. So the only reason we had to press that button was to get into this area. If we had a way to get in here without pressing the button, it probably would save some time, because then we wouldn't have to go and travel into another room and such. Oh, thanks, buddy. Those are gremlins. They're great. They throw rocks at you. Anyways, we'll going back to my previous thought, if there was a way to get into this area without switching, like, basically after you beat, I can't even think of his name, but after you beat him, you can just get in here without hitting the switch. It just saves some time. So, unfortunately, this game also does not like when you do too many actions at once, and we can actually soft lock the game. But this is the first boss you get to see summons. where we basically Hadoken a giant cockatrice. And we got a bad pattern with the Z-Dragons. You may be seeing me switch cards, and for that is because, as I said earlier, magic is based off of strength. And the card combo I'm going to actually increases my strength by 100%. So I'm basically dealing double the damage with my summon. Now I don't use it all. We don't use it all the time, at least that one. But there's a couple bosses that we will use Mars Unicorn over Mars Black Dog, because even though Mars Unicorn is plus 50%, it's dealing holy damage, which will deal a lot more damage to bosses. And now we got the heavy ring. I'm actually trying to think. I believe in casual, or if you were going to go low percent, you would not need the heavy ring. You don't need the heavy ring and the cleanse stone, which is a pointless item in a speedrun. Hey guys, I cleansed the poison. Good. Do you feel better? Now, we could actually technically warp up here, but Rock Swing is just faster because it's one less card change. Now we're in the observation tower. Oh, I always forget. I always want to believe this is a double, but it's never a double. And because my health is actually really good, I'm going to skip the save, or the top up of health, basically. And back to invincibility, because these guys do nearly 150 damage, 300 if you hit their sword. This is my second favorite song in the game. My favorite is the underground. Where the zombie dragons are. I can not think of areas. Wow. So this fight can go one or two ways. Really good or really bad. Hugh's mad. Dracula's like, I'll give you power. And Hugh's like, okay. But Dracula never taught him how to hit a skeleton. Okay, he's getting a little close. So the idea with this boss battle is you want to hit him with the big bones, but big bones are like 1 in 10 chance. And if he walks far enough, he'll throw projectiles. There we go. That was actually not too bad. I can be happy with that. Unfortunately, since he died in the middle, we have to go into the middle, or to the right of him. If he died more to the left, or died being a relative to him, we'd actually be more to the left of the room. We pick up the key just because it can be a little bit quicker than waiting for or doing the summons into the final area again. Anyways, there's the devil. He gave us a bad pattern. And we just run by him. Now we move on to final area, I guess, that we actually have to do normally. As much as I would like to have skipped this area, we have to do it pretty much normally. And this is an area that you technically don't need to go to. Like, even the game was like, hey, you don't actually need to go here. But you go here anyways. So yeah, thunder armors are back. They deal a lot of damage. So do chairs. And I'm scared, so I always forget the placement of them. Oh, got poisoned. So unfortunately I'm gonna have to heal before death. I almost messed up this puzzle. As funny as that would have been. That would have been bad. So, of course you want to keep your fast speed as much as possible, but it comes to a time where it's when you get low enough health, you go safe, regardless of record or not. Like this room. I go safe, but it seems to work every time. Anyways, I believe it's this one. This one. So, welcome to the laggiest room in the game. The only reason it's laggy is because the enemies are behind these blocks and won't get summoned until you do the puzzle. Like when you go back, there'll be monsters in there that weren't there before. We move on to, if anyone is a huge fan of Castlevania games, this is such a disappointment, but here's Death. He doesn't even get like a line of dialogue, it's just, he's just sitting in the sewers like, I wonder if anyone's gonna come visit me. Because Dracula's a jerk and left him in the sewers. Ooh, that was close. So, we're trying to hit him with 2 pluffs of the rose, because that deals the most damage. And now, here's Dracula's second form. We kind of keep him off screen, so when the summon happens, he gets hit a bunch of times off screen. And now we're using Holy, because it actually deals more damage than double. There he goes. So yeah, you'll just see my MP just soar back up because I have to wait. Yeah, we're on to... I almost died. I had to think about what I was gonna do. So the only reason I don't save there though is Dracula can literally just kill me. No matter what I do, I have one shot or Dracula kills me. Anyhow, here's Dracula. I have the wrong thing. Oh. So, Dracula in this form can bring out 3 attacks. Meteors, poison, bubbles, and lasers. Optimally, we want lasers, bubbles, then meteor. Because we have to hit him 4 times with big bones. Oh, sorry. So yeah, these poison bubbles will kill me. So you only get 3 shots with your bones. Okay, come on. Come on, Bone Zone. See, all I can hope is... Nope. So I could technically have tried for a big bone, but it's a little risky. So I don't. And basically get 3 bones. So now we're in the second form. And time will be coming up shortly. Time ends when we basically hit the final hit on him. So if you've seen other people do speedruns of this, you'll have seen them use bone mode. I go for a more... I find it more consistent, at least for my taste. And that's using Thunderbird summons with Unicorn. So I have to check every 2 times if he will give me the eye. Actually, the bats have been really nice. And time. $33.16, not too bad, especially when I had to use bone float and yeah. Just to correct something quickly, that's my old Twitch. I go by MrTrUShade instead, if you want to find me.
I can definitely go ahead and...
Sorry.
No worries.
Do I
There
have
you go.
time to show off some things?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm not going to show the credits because they're boring. So, I don't know what they thought of this game. First off, here's the map. You can basically see that we don't go anywhere in the clock tower, and we just skip a bunch of stuff. Good, I do have double speed. This one was pointed out to me, or I found this one while looking for like other kind of glitches and such. Wow, look at this spanner. He needs to get banned. So, we're back in the warehouse.
He's got unlimited powers. I don't know about that.
There's just an uncoded wall. Someone took the day off and just didn't code this wall. This was good times. So yeah, there's that. Just one more thing I can show off. We'll actually start up a normal file, or a magician file. Yeah. Unfortunately, you have to wait for the cutscene, because all my other save files don't have it. I've all done the normal stuff, so yeah. So, we'll do the summon again, or not the summon, but the warp. I don't have... No! I'm so slow! I might actually have to, switch over to a lower cost one. Any of the ones that, like, suspend us in air can do this warp, so it's kind of interesting. Go over here. Back through. I guess to kind of explain this as well, they never coded the bosses to figure out what's happening when you come from the left side. So that's kind of what's happening here. Anyways, just 46 seconds of level ups again. Actually, let's see. Do I still have said image that I... Here we go. There we go. Just for people to enjoy. Where people thought this, after this game came out, everyone hated it. This is, I believe, still one of the highest ranked Castlevanias on IGN right now. Anyways, Dracula's dead. We just walk out the door. And we soft lock the game. And that is it for me. So, thank you for having me. I hope everyone enjoyed that run.
Oh, you're very welcome. Like I said, I really wanted this in the marathon, so I know it was late, but hey, I had my Castlevania in this marathon. So
oh, I was fine with it being late.
Alright, well that's going to do it for us for day one of Distant Star Cares Play Live 2018. We'll be right back here at noon. So that'll be less than 8 hours, and we'll get started with some Mega Man Battle Network. So come back here for some more action for day two. see you in a few hours.